Today we're learning how to create this layout where you're like peeling the page off, although it's a flat piece of paper. It's super easy. I'll show you step by step. Let's get into it. We're starting off here with Photoshop. So get into Photoshop and create a new document. Now we have just a standard letter size document will do. I'm gonna make sure that it is in portrait orientation. Mine's a little bit high on 300 ppi. Feel free to turn it down to like 150. I'm gonna keep it on 300 because I like my good quality images. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and just unlock this background because I want to change the color of my background. And this is a color of your choice. So here I already have a color that's chosen. I'm gonna go over here to where it says paint bucket tool. You can also use the shortcut G. And I'm just gonna paint the entire background my chosen color. Now that we have that, I can go ahead and actually lock my layers. Okay, next we're going down to the left and right into the ellipse tool in your toolbar. Now, it might be on your rectangle tool, but all you have to do is right click on that icon and it should bring up your ellipse. Now, we want to draw a perfect circle, so I'm gonna choose a starting point right here. Hold shift when we do this, because then it becomes a perfect circle rather than a wonky oval. This looks like a good size, and what I'm going to do is get rid of the stroke. So that's that outline that you see over there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm actually going to give this a nice white fill, just so I can see where it is on the page. Now, once we have that done, we can simply make this into a raster. So right click, and I'm going to rasterize this layer. Now, I'm going to make a copy of this layer. So go ahead and just Control J for copy, or alternatively, you can right click and click duplicate layer. So once you have that duplicated layer, so ellipse 1 copy, you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this into a smart object. So convert that into a smart object. Now, this next step is super important, so please listen up. We're gonna create the nice flipping effect for the actual page. But in order to actually do that, we'll need to create a nice gradient so that it feels like it's peeling off the page rather than it just being a separate element. And we're gonna do that by going into the gradients tool. So that's on the left over here, but you can see that it's paint bucket tool. Again, we're right clicking and we're just gonna go into our gradients tool. So you can see if I just create a gradient like this, it's not gonna do super well. What we're going to do is we're going to actually make our own custom gradient. So how we do that, we're gonna go up to the Windows tab and just check on gradients if you don't already have it on. You can see that this will pop up on the right here, and we're going to make a custom gradient. So go down here to create a new gradient or gradient editor. And then you can see that I can name this a new gradient. So if I want orange 1, well, let's do orange 2 because I've tested this off camera just to make sure it works for you guys. And we're going to go ahead and just adjust these sliders. If you don't know what these sliders do, this is the opacity. So you can change the opacity if I want this to go to a completely zero opacity, meaning it kind of blends into whatever the background is. You would change that, but in this case we don't really want to do that, so I'm going to keep that at 100 on both ends. And on the bottom is where you actually pick the color. So I want one of the sides to be white because it's the highlight color, but I want the other side to be the background color. So I'm clicking the background, and you feel free to drag this around if you want more of one color, but we can just leave that as what it is right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and create this new custom color. So custom 2, new. You can see that it's popped up right beside my other one that I was testing out, but we're gonna hit OK. And on the bottom here, it's going to be right here. Now, what we're going to do is actually go ahead and drag the gradient tool around. So you can see that if I'm dragging the gradient tool like this, whatever color is on the left is whatever color I chose to be on the left in that slider that we just did. And whatever color's on the right is the color on the right. So very intuitive. And then we're going to just drag it out until we find one that makes sense. So maybe something like that. And all I'm doing is holding down my mouse and dragging my mouse across the page. Hey everyone, just a reminder that if you're still looking to pick up your Adobe subscriptions, I have an affiliate link down in the description that'll really help the channel out when you actually get it. I think for students, it's like 60% off. So go ahead and get that while you still can. And also I have a nice portfolio layout on my website that I've used to get my first job. So if you're looking for a architectural or landscape portfolio that you can just drag and drop images and change the text and then send it off, go ahead and get that. It's on a pretty good sale right now, but only until the end of the month. So get that while you still can, and let's get back into the video. Okay, and this is the most important step, and it's super cool. So we're gonna go ahead and select the shape that we created. Control T just to make sure that we have the right shape. And then we're going to right click, go ahead and warp, and we're just going to peel it like we would any other page. So I think the trick here is you really want to peel it enough so that the lines overlap. You see how the lines I'm dragging all the way so that it overlaps. Now that's what's gonna give it that nice effect of the peel. So I'm gonna drag this out a little bit more and have these guys just peel back a little bit. So you can see that this page is already flipped over here. So this is overlapping right here, this zone. And if I hit enter, you can see it's gonna create that nice effect. Now, this looks pretty good. We're gonna add a little bit of a drop shadow to it. So go ahead and drop shadow. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a opacity, make it lighter a little bit. And then I'm gonna adjust the distance as well as the angle. So the angle is really gonna make or break your drop shadow. So if I go ahead and just adjust the angles over here, you can see that the angle will move and the shadow will also move according to where it is. So we want this to be on the inside here, and we want the outside transition to be as smooth as possible. So we have that really cool effect in. Now we just need to address the bottom circle. So the bottom circle still looks a little bit flat. We'll give it a nice effect that'll make it pop right away. So selecting our first circle, we're gonna go down to the bottom to effects, and then we're going to do inner shadow. Now it's going to go ahead and match the angle of the shadow that you used for the actual peeling effect. If you check use global light, I think that's very important to do because it makes the shadows consistent on your page. Now we're going to drag an image into this so that the background stays something that we want people to see. Once you have that image downloaded and ready to go ahead and just drag and drop it into Photoshop. So for the image I chose, which is a nice contrast, is this water pool image. I think it would be pretty cool if you peel off the page and there's water underneath. I think that's super cool. Anyways, we're gonna place it in between the fill on the top, so the gradient on the top that we created where we peeled it off, and the ellipse that we just made on the bottom. And all we're going to do is right click on this image and just hit create clipping mask. The best part is you can actually resize this and adjust this in the circle however you like. And that's something that I really like with just creating masks, and getting really good at masking is a really good asset in Photoshop. Now, once we have this, we can either complete the lettering and the design in Photoshop itself by adding things like text, but I don't really like doing any sort of text work in Photoshop, and I'll show you why. If you're ever printing this at anything larger than, something that is handheld, like a giant poster, what you'll end up seeing is that these letters are actually not super crisp. They're gonna have weird edges, and you're probably gonna see this with something like a R or something like a B, where there's a lot of curves, and you definitely don't want these very blurry things showing up on your poster. It just doesn't look very professional. So I would discourage you from doing anything like this in Photoshop. At least do it in Illustrator, but since this is a very InDesign focused channel, we're gonna do this in InDesign. Okay, so now that we're ready, we can go ahead and export. Now, the trick, just for you guys, is we're not gonna export this to a JPEG or a PNG or anything. We're actually gonna save this Photoshop file as a .tiff file. It's gonna keep all of our layer and everything, but InDesign is gonna be able to read it, and anytime you make changes to this document in Photoshop, it's going to update in InDesign, which is great. And to do that, you just have to go into File, Save As, go into the place on your computer where you're trying to save it, and scroll down from this. Usually it defaults to Photoshop. Just go down to TIFF and then save the TIFF. Now you're gonna go ahead and just leave everything on the setting here, and it's gonna tell you that including layers will include file size, but that is exactly what we want, so we're gonna hit OK. Now the other trick when exporting something like this is we want to isolate the top element. let me show you what I mean. In InDesign, we're gonna need to use this element right here with the shadow. So it's a good idea for us to export this without anything else, because then we can layer the text on top of one another. Just makes it look a lot more professional. This one we do have to export, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to File, go to Export, and I can just quick export this as a PNG. So I can go ahead and just save that, and it'll export a nice PNG for me. So now we're going into InDesign, and I'll see you guys over there. Okay, so in InDesign, we're going to make just a very standard 8.5 by 11. Now, I like to make my margins a lot bigger, so 6.25 is what I'm going to go with. I'm gonna check off the facing pages, and since we're just making one page, we can go ahead and just leave everything as is. Now, if you're going ahead and print this, make sure you are making a nice bleed. Just a nice 0.125 inch is perfect. Go ahead and create that document. So all we're going to do is drag that TIFF in like this, and then just line it up with the corners of the page. And also drag that layer on the top in somewhere else. Make sure that it's not right over this image, because it'll just replace that. Now you can go ahead and match this. If you have Smart Snap on, this will be super simple. Now I'm gonna create 4 different layers here. And one is gonna be for image. So this is gonna be image on the bottom. And then this is going to be the image on the top. And then the other 2 are just gonna be for text. So this image on the top, where it has this separate element, I'm gonna make that into the second image layer, and I'm just gonna lock both of the image layers. Now, going into our text layer, we can go ahead and spice this up by just giving it some title text and whatever you are feeling. So once we have something like this, it's looking like it's missing something on the top right and the bottom left. So on the bottom, we're gonna go to a nice QR code. So on the top here, we're gonna go into Object and then Generate QR code. And here, I'm just gonna make it go to lyhstudio.com and then use the color of what we're using, so white. Go ahead and just click that anywhere on the page, and we'll just finish it off with a nice logo on the top. And all right. That looks pretty good. That is basically it. Let me know if this barcode even works. I've actually never tested this before, so let me know down in the comments if that actually works. And that's it. That is the super easy but super useful technique that you can use to impress anybody. One more trick up your sleeve. If you have learned anything new, leave that down in the comments. What did you learn? What can I improve on? What do you want to see next? And share it, like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.